Hi. In the last video, we have discussed how to extract the data by pulling into Power BI. Because as you know, Power BI we use for data visualization purpose. In this context, we have taken some data, data sets, like Excel data sets we have taken. So that was extracted into the Power BI in the last video. Now, once we have extracted the data, what we can do, we have, if you want to create any kind of model views or something of that sort, here you can see there is an option called model view, where we need to identify the model views based upon the age, because ours is taken some train related train passengers data sets is what we have taken. So here there are different things, like where you have age based, like cabin, embark, at the same time fare, name, the same time passenger ID, followed by the kind of ticket. So all that informations will be there here. Now, whenever we have this data, usually if you want to create an hierarchical process in reference to the model we have selected, or else if you want to create a new group, here we have an option where we can create. But what I'm going to do is that I'm creating a hierarchical process in reference to the information what is that we have taken. So here you can see there is an option called age hierarchy, which I have taken. Right. So what is that we have taken is hierarchical process. Like hierarchical process of the age is what I have taken in reference to the data sets what we have taken, all that stuff. Wherein if you can see and go into the table, where if you want to see the table and all everything. So based on the age, whatever the age people have. So age-based hierarchical process is what we need to select. That is something essentially important, and when we need to understand the hierarchical process in reference to that. So for that, there is an option where you can see that you need to create an hierarchy for that. So if you need to create an hierarchy where there are different age group people are there for traveling purposes, almost there are different age group people you can see here. And whatever the age group people we have seen usually here, where we wants to categorize any kind of data, right? So based on the latitude, longitude, all that stuff. Followed by this, if you want to create any hierarchical process, as I mentioned, we can create some hierarchical process where we are working on it. Right. So whatever the hierarchical process we can see, this is what the data I have taken. Whatever the data I have taken here, if you can see, whatever the hierarchical process we have scheduled and all of it is what generally will be appeared here. At the same time, age-wise hierarchy is what we need to see, which normally I'm just selecting as new measure. Right, so age-wise hierarchical process is what we have taken. Right, so age-wise hierarchical process is what we have taken here. Measure equal to age, average, based on the passenger ID. What is that? We can take it out, right? So this is how generally this based on the passenger ID average is what we have taken. So based on the passenger ID, what we have and all, right? So because every passenger will have some ID number here, you can see, right? So this is where generally this passenger IDs are. Right? You can see based upon the passenger number, this hierarchical process, you can see the hierarchical process starts in 6, right? So from there onwards, the hierarchical process, excuse me, the hierarchical process was extend it to that possible, right? So this is where generally the hierarchical process you can see different hierarchical process right from zero, right from minimum number, right? So from six to somewhere around the highest numbers in the, right? So this is how generally this hierarchical process we can see here. At the same time, for example, when we talk about the cabin part, and for example, if you want to add any new measure, right? So if you want to create any new measure based upon the cabin, right? So cabin is what we have taken, right? So cabin is what we have taken. Measure 2 equal to, correctly, correctly table, correctly table. Yeah. So here you can see, right? So data tables, what is that we have taken about it. So this is how generally this cabin numbers or that stuff, whatever the cabin number we have and all everything. So based on the services, what is that we have taken. So all that, so based on the numbering and all everything. This is how usually these aggregations will be taking place. At the same time, if you want to take it a whole number here, right? So whatever the whole number, if you want to take, wherein if you want to uh, take the data type as text, right? So if you want to change it, usually uh, whatever the changes and all everything, if you want to continue, if you can continue, so can continue. Yeah, you can see it, right? So this is where generally this can be continued, right? So this is how usually this data decimal numbers and all everything were taken. At the same time, we can change the whole number even equal sometimes. Whenever we wants to make whole number, we can see, right? So based on the whole number, what is that we have taken, this changes and all everything will be time. At the same time, for example, based upon the hierarchical process we are adding, based upon the inquiry number, based on the ticket number, all that. Yeah, so based on the ticket, you can see that. So based on the ticket number, all the data has been segregated according to the requirement what we have. So this is how usually this data tables and all everything will be used in connect to the model. What is that we are going to create, the kind of models we have, all that. So these models and all everything can be created according to the information what we have, the kind of data sets what we have taken. And whatever the data sets we have taken, so whatever the related and relevant models can be created based upon the ticket number, based on the cabin, based upon the passenger ID, right? So all that information you can see. So this is where generally this information can be extracted. So this is how usually normally we need to work on this Power BI. At the same time, if you want to create any new data groups, here you can see there is an option called new data group, where if you want to create any kind of group or something like, where we have to give the group name, all that stuff, right? So this is where generally two numbers as a group numbers we have taken this way. At the same time, right? So two, right? So you can Right, so we can. Right, so you can see here, there is a batch group created, ticket group was created, where you can see group details and all everything will be mentioned here, right? So this is how usually this, if you want to create any kind of data groups or something like, this is how the data groups and all everything will be created using Power BI. This is all for now. For furthermore details, if I want to provide relating to Power BI, the further functionalities involved that I am going to explain in the coming video. For more information, please reach out to the contact details, which will be posted in below to this video. Thank you.